Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming today. You know, I've introduced Chief Justice Moore a lot of times, and I'm thankful to do it again today. Chief Justice Moore, he's from Gadsden, from Gallant, Alabama, and he was raised by Christian parents who taught him to love the Lord and to work real hard, and he's done that throughout his life. In high school, he played football very well, and he was class president, and at the same time, he worked in the lunchroom. And he worked hard. He ended up getting an appointment to West Point, so he went to West Point for college, graduated, went to Germany, later served in Vietnam. So he's a veteran. He's done that. After that, he came back to Alabama, and he went to the University of Alabama School of Law. He started practicing law after that, ended up being the first full-time deputy district attorney in Etowah County. He did that for several years. Went back to the practice of law, and all the time, working hard. Ended up being a circuit judge in 1992, then was elected in 1994. And he was the first Republican elected in Etowah County in, I think, 180 years, and then after that, there wasn't one for several years after that. But he kept on working hard. In 2000, Chief Justice Moore was elected Chief Justice of the state of Alabama. He did that for a couple of years. Unfortunately, he was removed for standing for the Lord, standing for the acknowledgement of God.
That's right.
All right. He went to the Foundation for Moral Law. He was president of the Foundation for Moral Law for 9 years. In 2000, he ran for Chief Justice again. He was elected Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. And here we are today to see what the future is, to see what Chief Justice Moore's future is. So, Judge Moore, I am proud to introduce you, Judge Roy Moore.
Thank you. First, let me thank you for coming here today to be with us. Some of you I know have come great distances, but we thank you for being here on this special day. It's a special day because I'm choosing to take a new direction in my life. But it's also a special day because on this day, a few years ago anyway, a beautiful baby girl was born to Mac and Della Kaiser. And this is her birthday. So I want to recognize my wife, Kayla, being birthday. I'm not going to say how old she is, but.
Good. Smart. You're a smart man.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kayla. Happy birthday to you.
You know, I think it's altogether fitting and appropriate to do that on this occasion because as you embark on another career, another office perhaps, it's very important to recognize the one that's going to be going there with you because it's hard, as you know, on your spouse, and it's appropriate as I announce my candidacy for the United States Senate.
Amen. There you go.
My position has always been God first, family, then country. I think I share, and I know I share, the vision of our President, Donald Trump, to make America great again.
That's right.
Yeah.
For the information for the media, I have enclosed my position on several national issues. You can look at them and notice the date. This was printed is March of 2011. Some things have changed, some things have not. Many of the issues are the same issues in our country today. You can read them, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Concerning the economy and taxation, health care, foreign relations, the military, and other such things as we are engaged in our country today. But you know, before we can make America great again, we've got to make America good again.
That's right.
Our first president, in his farewell address, said it very simply that virtue or morality is the necessary spring of popular government. Who that is a sincere friend to it can look with indifference on attempts to shake the foundation of the fabric. I know, and I think you do too, that the foundations of the fabric of our country are being shaken tremendously. Our families are being crippled by divorce and abortion. Our sacred institution of marriage has been destroyed by a Supreme Court, and our rights and liberties are in jeopardy. And the Constitution we were sworn to uphold since 1965 on the banks of the Hudson River at West Point is being ignored by judges who have put themselves above the Constitution, by judges and justices of the United States Supreme Court who have ignored it. If we simply recognize what's in the Constitution, we can return to a better government. Socialized medicine, Common Core education, they're not in the power of the federal government. As a United States Senator, I will continue to stand for the rights and liberties not only of this state, but of its people as well. Amen. I will defend those rights and liberties under the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. Amen. I thank you.
Yes, sir. So, a couple of questions, Judge? Okay. And Judge Moore will be happy to answer a couple of questions. And we'd like to say that there is a website, JudgeRoyMooreForSenate.com, JudgeRoyMooreForSenate.com. And first question, Kim.
Kim. Yes, I think because, one, the Senate race is coming up first, and two, because, you know, many people think of the Senate as going to the federal government and just being apart from the state except for its election by its people. That's not proper. Before the 17th Amendment was ratified, the legislatures of each state chose the senators. And then after that, of course, the people chose the senators, but it doesn't remove the role that a senator has in relation to the people of Alabama. We know there are problems, both in the state government and in the federal government, and they've got to be addressed in favor of the state by the senator representing him or her, or representing the state. That is a job of the United States Senator. Sometimes I think that's forgotten, and we don't have that much communication with the legislature of Alabama, and I hope to change that. Yes.
We need someone that knows the Constitution because mothers, as you know, we're already 50th in the nation on education. Alabama is the bottom. So you mentioned Common Core. I know parents all over the country are really tuned into that. Would you state your concerns?
Well, as I said, we've got to remember what the 10th Amendment is all about. I remember on this, I think at this place many years ago, Fob James was sworn in. He had a big banner behind him about the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment is very simple. It says the powers not delegated to the United States, nor prohibited by the Constitution, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. That means that the federal government's powers are specifically listed in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. They're enumerated. When federal government starts usurping the powers of the state, it's the right and duty of its representatives to stand against that. Education is not in the Constitution. It has never been in the Constitution. There was a time when President Reagan basically stated that. But we see education continually being pushed on this state and what we teach our children. And it's absolutely phenomenal to think that the people of Alabama can't educate its children better than the people in Washington. I'm telling you, it's used as an indoctrination of children to a federal agenda, and that's improper.
Judge Moore, real quick, the stands that you made as Chief Justice in Alabama, we all know about, that ultimately led to your removal and suspension most recently. How do you plan on using those stands to your advantage in this case now?
Well, I mean, you know, what I did for the people of Alabama. I stood up for the Constitution. I stood up for God. The great majority of people in this state believe in God. The Constitution itself is based on an acknowledgement of God. Unless you understand what God has to do with the Constitution, you don't understand the Constitution. It's a restriction on power. But you see today, power is out of hand. A just estimate of that love of power and the proneness to abuse it which predominates in the human heart is sufficient to satisfy us of the truth of this position. So said Washington in his farewell address. We've got to understand that getting back to the Constitution, getting back to its restraints are what we need in this country to make it great again.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you tendered your resignation in order to run for this race?
I will be submitting papers soon that they're submitted already that allow me to run, yes.
Judge Moore, hadn't the race been that presented been next year instead of this year, and it's still been in November of 18? Would your choice have been the Senate, or would it have been governor? And how would the moving of the race forward impact your decision process?
Well, I can only state that I'm running for the office now. I have been asked by many people to run for governor. I think it's very important, the way this nation is going, to run it for the Senate of the United States. And I can't answer a question unless that situation, those circumstances were upon me. I don't know what I would do.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Well,
And
let's-
Chief, yes, sir.
Let's get a couple more.
Lauren.
I just want to tell you that I've been with this man 20 years, and he stood for Alabama. I'm here today to tell you I endorse Judge Moore. He needs to be in the Senate, U.S. Senate, because this job, and I'm going to tell you why, because this man understands the Constitution, and that's who we need in Washington, D.C.
Let's see. Lauren, the last question here.
Differentiate your time in the Senate from Senator Luther Strange's time in the Senate.
I don't differentiate. I don't know what he's been doing actually since he's been up there, so I can't really differentiate that. I'll stand for the rights and liberties of the people. That's all I can say. Right over here.
Judge, your name is well known in the state, obviously. As Chief Justice, you've been very successful in races. You ran twice as governor. Is there a job that you have in this campaign of making people look at you beyond a judicial candidate in a statewide race?
Well, whether you're a judicial candidate or executive officer, whether you're a legislator at Alabama or in the Congress of the United States, the job is the same under Article 6. The representatives and senators before mentioned and all executive and legislative officers of both of the United States and the several states shall be sworn to the United States Constitution. It's all about the Constitution. I don't profess to be an expert in the Constitution. However, I think I know it better than many, and I think I know why it exists. And that's what I'm finding in our country. They're not following it, and they obviously don't know why it exists, or they would follow it.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, and I have
Thank
the
you.
statement up here, but thank you, Judge Moore.
sir. Thank you.
Judge Moore for U.S. Senate. Very good.
Hey, let me say one more thing.
Yes, sir. There's this-
I do want to recognize a special man here. He's a special man wherever I go because he is unique. He's 90-something years old. I won't say exactly. 93 years old. He went to World War II as a teenager. He was captured in the Philippines after doing a marvelous work there. When MacArthur left, this man was left behind. He was taken into custody, put in a Japanese concentration camp in Japan. He survived beatings, he survived threats to his life, and he's here today who knows truly what America is about and why we must fight. I have to hold him back because I think he would fight himself. He hasn't lost that spirit. And I want you to recognize Colonel Glenn Frazier. Just say thank you. Just say thank you. Not long.
Oh, yes, sir. It's just right there. Yes, sir.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure to be here, to be with this fine man right here. And I want to tell you right now, we the people need to get behind him and the people that are for us, not for the people up there in both nationwide and states should be admitting what they are for. They're for working for us and everything for the betterment of everybody, not better for them. And they just got it wrong.
That's right.
And we got to turn it around. And I know this. Judge Moore can turn it around if anybody can.
Amen.
He's taken the grunt for everything. Every time they come along, they want to kick somebody. They think about Judge Moore. That's right. And he's kicking back, and I'm gonna kick back with him.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Hey, y'all, I've got his statement up here.
We're so thankful.